I return.
Welcome back under sheriff.
I can hear you now. Perfect. Thank God.
Wonderful.
Bet you wait. Can I quickly check and then... Sorry, lady in brown. Can I hear you?
You're allowed to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Aaron.
All right, perfect.
Hello.
Okay, all right. Those are the critically important people.
We're good to go. If you would like to make yourself comfortable, and I'm going to go ahead and remind you that you are still under oath.
Yeah. There we go. That'll do. Howdy.
All right. Attorney Ice, your witness, and he is still sworn in.
Hi, Under Sheriff Rosner. How are you doing today?
Oh, do I also do the yes and answer part? I'm doing good.
Perfect. So you were present. I'm just going to ask some reclarifying questions. That way we can get to the primary questions, okay?
Okay.
So you were present on the incident in question day of, correct?
Yes.
And you were scoping out the situation from quite a distance, correct?
Yes.
And what sort of situation did you respond to?
Oh, gang-related shooting. Between two gangs. Shooting each other.
Have you been to a number of gang-related shootings previously?
Yes.
Is there a standard set of dress for gang-related shootings?
I'm sorry, what?
A standard set of equipment. Sorry.
Specifically for gang-related shootings?
A standard equipment you use to respond to a gang-related shooting.
I have a standard set of gear, yet not specifically for gang-related shootings. God, you imagine I had to change uniforms for every crime? Oh, God. God, that'd be horrific.
Now, the day of in question, according to your statement, you stated you responded to a shootout immediately after this incident, correct?
Yes.
And yet, for the incident in question, you collected said evidence?
Yes.
Did you write your statement in the incident report before or after the second shooting you responded to?
After the second shooting.
After the second shooting. And you stated in your statement here that it was 2 hours after the initial incident in question. Is that correct?
Yes.
Objection relevance? Why are we talking about times of statements? I'm very confused.
Rebuttal to the objection.
I'm setting up a line of questioning, Your Honor, if you will just give me a little bit of time.
All right. Would we be able to get there in, say, 3 questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If we could get to the point in 3, please.
So, Under Sheriff Rosner, you stated, I'm just going to ask it again so that way we can hear the answer correctly. So you wrote your statement 2 hours after this initial incident, correct?
Yes.
Is it true that you have quite a lot of detail in this report, where you go into high specifics about specific individuals, as well as firearms, as well as pieces of clothing? Is that correct?
There's a matter of opinion.
Well, according to your statement, you have in here specifically what individuals were wearing, what firearms they're using, what specific individuals were doing on scene.
Yeah, that sounds like a normal amount of detail, not highly specific. That's just like basic detail. Dum 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 dum.
You stated in your statement here that you witnessed individuals shooting from the roof of the connoisseur, or not the Kintsugi repair shop. Is that correct?
Did you go to the Kaneshiro workshop?
I misspoke. An accident. Apologies.
Did I see somebody shooting? What's your question?
According to your statement, you stated in here that you witnessed shooting occurring from the rooftop. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah. Do you want me to read the statement for you?
Are you recalling something different?
No.
I'll ask again. Did you witness shooting from the rooftop of the Kintsugi motor repair shop?
That's a different question, but yes, I did watch shooting from the rooftop.
So, clarifying question here. You watched individuals fire their weapons from the top of that building, correct?
Individual, one singular. A firm.
Did you collect evidence from this inciting incident?
From the rooftop? No, I spent 15 minutes attempting to get onto that rooftop and was unable to.
So you did not collect any evidence from the top of that rooftop.
It is what I just said. Yeah, no, I was not able to get onto the rooftop and collect the small amount of casings up there. But the projectiles definitely got.
I'm using one of my 1 minutes, Your Honor, real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like the longer this is going on, the higher the chance that Mary's getting the gang-related sick. I told you, they're fumbling
So,
this.
Under Sheriff Rosner,
You?
how often do you go not collecting evidence?
What? Hell,
I'll ask again. How often do you not collect evidence from
Of
situations?
objection, of relevance. We're not here to discuss how he does his job. We're here to discuss the incident in question.
Rebuttal to the objection.
He just talked about how he did not collect evidence from the rooftop, and that spoke to individuals, one individual shooting multiple times from said rooftop, and he admitted to not collecting the evidence to corroborate this statement.
Your Honor, my rebuttal to that is we're talking about this specific incident. I think she could rephrase the question and so it can reference this incident and not his time being a law enforcement officer.
So if you would like to rephrase it, or if you would like to take what he has already answered to this question and move on to your next line, either way.
I can rephrase real quick. So under Sheriff Rosner, you failed to collect evidence from the rooftop, correct?
yes. Well, not entirely, or I would have got the projectiles, which were fired from said rooftop.
Specifically, the primarily casings or even blood that may have been on top of the rooftop, you failed to collect, correct?
That is correct.
Is this the only situation where you have failed to collect evidence?
Objection relevance.
trying to
Right.
call into question his reliability of collecting evidence on any situation and call into question his
Again, we're only here to discuss Mary Mushkin's charges and the incident in question. We're not here to speak about other scenes.
So with the objections as well as the answers that we've already been given, if we could please move on.
all right, yes, Your Honor. You took photographs of the situation in question, correct?
Yo,
Where did you take these photographs from? Where were you standing?
where was I standing? I was standing on top of my scout in the alleyway between Mirror Park Boulevard and East Mirror Drive. There is a gap in between the houses at the cross section. So, standing on top of my scout, I had a clear view of the whole of the shooting between, specifically, the intersection at Mirror Park Boulevard and West Mirror Drive, all the way to halfway in between the two buildings, as you called them, the Kaneshiro Motor Shop.
No, on record, I never stated that.
You actually did, but then you backtracked.
Because I misspoke, because we've said Kaneshiro multiple times throughout this trial, and Kintsugi only came up once. I do apologize for my misspeak. Would you say this is quite a distance from the location of said shootout?
It's a subjective matter. We define quite a distance.
Around 300 feet, I would say. About quarter of a mile.
It was definitely smaller than that. So no, it was not quite a distance.
What would you say your distance to the shootout was?
Good pick. Good pick.
200 meters?
This is the trumpet guy.
Who's the
All right,
trumpet guy?
Miss Sanders, that's going to be 1 count of contempt. If you could please keep it down.
Contempt fest.
Your Honor, do you need a bailiff?
You stated 200 meters, correct?
I think there's an ongoing scene right now. We might want to wait a moment.
I believe we are good to continue.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. You stated 200 meters, correct?
Yes. Around 200 meters.
Around 200 meters. Is 200 meters bigger or smaller than the amount I gave, which was 300 feet?
Objection relevance. Why are we talking about measurements? We're here to discuss a shooting.
All right, rebuttal to the objection.
Just trying to get an accurate distance, Your Honor.
He's already gave an approximate what he saw.
I don't operate in feet, so I went with meters.
Just I'll end my question there, but just a note for you. Under Sheriff, 200 meters is 600, over 600 feet.
Okay.
On the day in question, you took those photographs, correct?
Yes.
Were there any obstructions in your view?
The one tree is mentioned earlier.
What was the time of day at the time of the incident?
I do not recall.
You stated earlier that multiple of these individuals were wearing black clothing, correct?
A firm?
And I'd like for the court to recognize that in the time displayed in the photographs taken by Mr. Rosner, sorry, Under Sheriff Rosner, that the time of day was middle of the night. It was pitch black.
Can you rephrase that question? Sorry, it's everyone's chatting here.
I was just making sure it was notated for the court that the time of day during the photographs was night, as clearly displayed on them.
So is that a question or?
It was a note to the court.
If you would like to bring that up during your evidence highlight with closing.
All right, understood, Your Honor. So at the time of you taking the photographs, as well as witnessing the individuals in black, were you wearing your sunglasses?
These aren't sunglasses.
The aviators you are wearing currently.
No, I think you misunderstood. They're photochromatic lenses. And whether I was wearing them or not, I do not recall.
All right, understood.
I can go into more details about the equipment that I had.
That's not necessary, Under Sheriff. Thank you, though. Just to read. Actually, question for you, Under Sheriff Rosner.
That is why I'm here.
You typically wear sunglasses on an average day on patrol.
Sometimes. Sometimes I wear bunny ears.
Under Sheriff, how long have you been in law enforcement?
Oh, just this stint? Or in totality?
Totality.
40 years?
40 years. And how
Yep.
old would that make you?
61.
61. What would you say your typical age for a police officer is?
Objection relevance. This is not relevant to the case in hand.
I'm getting to it, Your Honor.
Why are we asking about people's ages for a what?
All right. Are we going to be able to get to the point of these questions within the next 2 questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as long as it is something the witness is willing and able to answer, I'll allow this proceed for 2 questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll ask again. What would you say the typical age for a police officer is, Under Sheriff?
I haven't got the faintest fucking idea. I deal with law enforcement. I don't do polling data on the ages of people in employment. I think you'd have to ask the government for that one.
Well, given your advanced age, would you say that you would
Whoa,
have some...
Objection!
whoa,
What the hell?
whoa.
That's disrespectful. That's our undersheriff.
I'm below retirement age. What the hell?
All right. Which objection are we going with for this errand?
He's being so rude to our under sheriff, calling him an old. This is not
Your
relevant.
Honor, sidebar.
All right. If I could please have the attorneys and officers for a sidebar.
Do I get to listen?
Under Sheriff, if you would be so kind as to hop away just for the moment.
I called advanced age. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. So pissed I could spit. Yeah.
It's okay, Grandpa. Don't worry. I'll bring you to the doctors later.
Okay.
All right. Please lower your voice in the courtroom. If I hear anyone else at the bench that is not being directly addressed by the court, it will be contempt.
Oy.
All right. Under Sheriff, you can make yourself back comfortable. I'm sorry about that.
I think our best cases and closing arguments just argue all the basic, the two prongs of the charge itself.
Yep.
I think that's okay.
All right. We'll have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Aaron, any cross?
Yeah, have some. Howdy, Rosner.
Howdy!
Have you ever used the same equipment for any other calls during your time as an LEO?
I've used some of this equipment for so long, but hell, we were using some of it in the military. Yeah, I use this equipment daily.
Has your equipment ever obstructed you from doing your job correctly?
No, it enhances and enables me to do my job to the best of my abilities and beyond.
Have your glasses ever obstructed you from seeing things correctly?
Now,
How would you describe your visual to the Kintsugi mechanic shop?
perfect.
Why did you not take pictures of every single individual on scene?
Oh, at that point in time, we had a large issue with data uploads, specifically the Biggie uploads. So I used the camera to take as many photos as I could and upload all of those that I could and submitted those to evidence. And for the rest of it, I used these handy dandy things called eyeballs and memory. We've developed it over millions of years. It does a pretty damn good job.
Let's talk about his evidence on the rooftop. How many different ways did you try to get on that rooftop?
I honestly lost count. I put vehicles on the side, tried using fences, or I even climbed over barbed wire in an attempt to try and get on that rooftop.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Yeah, fit and healthy.
Okay. During your time as an LEO, has there ever been times where you're unable to get to locations where suspects have been?
Yep.
And again, why did you not do your statement immediately after the shooting?
I was engaged in a live firefight with a different group. That took a long period of time and orchestrating multiple people in order to try and do a breach on a rooftop.
During your time as an LEO, have you had to do that before?
Respond to multiple crimes? Yeah.
And how long do you have to complete your statements?
I make sure all of my statements are done within 24 hours.
Would you say your memory is good?
Yeah, I'm not a rabbit. I just wear the ears for Easter.
You're looking great under Sheriff. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Any redirect for this witness?
She said I looked great.
You do. The ears are very festive.
Thank you.
No more questions for the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Under Sheriff Rosner, thank you so much for your time. You are no longer under oath. You may hop down.
Oh, hell yeah, back to hopping.
All right. Defense, your next witness.
We call Aaron Carter to the stand.
Okay, bye.
Aaron, you're on the
They're
stand.
calling you. They're calling you.
I was never called as a witness, Your Honor.
You're good
Part
as
of
a
the
witness, right,
prosecution
Rosner? You're
as well as the
Yeah.
arresting
You're good to
officer,
go?
Your
Aaron,
Honor.
can
It
I
doesn't
go?
work like that. You
High
call us as a
Commander calling
witness.
me.
No, it does work like that.
It never
works
works like that.
Your Honor.
You
Oh,
should be good to
dear.
go because you've already been crossed and recrossed and everything
Yeah,
else.
I'm just making sure Aaron's okay
I'm
with
gonna
me
starve
leaving.
to death. Does anyone have any food?
Yeah, he's
I do,
asking Aaron.
Yeah, I've got
Aaron,
I don't think she's listening.
Yeah, sorry.
am I going to High Commander calling me for a
Is
meeting
it creme
quickly?
brulee?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
It's
thank you so much. God bless.